So,
Hey everyone, it's Justin here, Voices for Voices. Thank you as always for joining us, whether you're watching, listening here in the United States, across the world. If you can do us a big favor, give us a thumbs up, like, follow, subscribe, share, reshare, repost, and even reach into that old phone, probably a newer phone than mine, and let the Voices for Voices podcast and TV show share it with maybe 25 year contacts. And we thank you for joining us. If this is your first show, welcome. If you have been with us from the beginning or have been with us at any point in the past, welcome back. Welcome. This episode is going to be pretty straight to the point. I am going to be stepping aside for our guest, David Solomon, to share a special update. So, David, thank you for joining us, and the floor is yours.
thank you for having me, Justin.
You're welcome.
Uh, since everybody knows my name by now, my name is Solomon O. David Soldier, Nathaniel Isaac Hahn, JPS. I mean, Scott Miner has blasted that out. I, my mom created those as pen names to protect me as a writer. Okay, so today is basically I am challenging Laura Haven, episode 365. I listened to it. It was well done. I'm going to say this right now. Um, I am not here to attack someone.
You're fading in and out.
Sorry about that. Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got the you're not here to attack anyone, which
Um,
is true.
yeah, I'm not here to attack someone just because I don't like what they have to say, and I'm not going to put them in a category of traffickers or something else. And Scott and Becky were not victims because of that, and I have the proof, and I'm going to share that. Hi. To the guy at Lower Haven, you and I have actually talked. So this makes it very awkward. Uh, you're a cool guy. And I think you're doing an amazing job. I hope to make a difference in the Christian writing community. And I stand by what I say. Um, and that's not going to change until there's a change in the Christian writing community, including the massive boycotts and blacklisting I had to deal with today. All right. So you are having Brian Davis on your podcast next. And I want to challenge you on something. He said that I started all this in 2015 because I wanted to go to his house. Mm-mm. Nope. So, um, on February 16th, 2015, my mom emailed Brian Davis and they had a conversation. Now, I don't know, maybe Brian's forgotten the conversation, or maybe not. I have it printed out here, and it's a very detailed conversation. It's clearly him. Um, Brian at dragonsinourmidst.com. They were going to meet in Knoxville, Tennessee, not his home. Now, it goes on for 15 pages of my mom and him. And this is the last thing Brian Davis said to my mom after a heated argument. I am just trying to clear things up in the past. I've been informed through our church that my son was having an inappropriate relationship with a young lady named Megan Morris. I copy and pasted your email that's sent to a pastor at our church. I'd like to clarify that. Brian responded, basically, I'm blocking you. And I don't have anything else to say. Which route will you be passing through? Maybe we can go out of Knoxville. I live in Middleton, Tennessee. It goes on where my mom and him talk, and she doesn't want to go to his house, but he wants her to. So I wanted to start there. It takes someone with a lot of gut to lie to people and say that conversation never happened. And then my mom, in case no one knew, confronted Brian about me being taken. In 2012, actually. There's actually pictures of that confrontation because there were witnesses. It has broken my son's heart. It's broken the entire industry of writing in the Christian world today. What's going on? And Realm Makers wants to hide what is going on. So let me address what is really going on. I spoke out because I was getting harassed by Brian. There was another victim in Realm who sent me a message. I think I liked people at Realm and I never badmouthed Brian. I said that to 3 people in Realm Makers. That was it. I did not use the platform to badmouth anyone. In fact, I did the opposite. For you to attack me as a writer and as a creator and as a Christian is unprofessional. Now, bringing my family into it, that crosses a line, an unforgivable line. I've worked my whole life to be professional, courteous, respectful, and I've worked a very hard ass career to do that. I've watched the hate. I'm used to hate. And then you you posted that I want to attack Realm. And the only reason I came after Realm is because leadership has not done what they need to do. Lore Haven, episode 365. Do some research on who Von Omen is. You can hate me, but are you going to call the other victims and documentaries on this guy a lie too? Was my mom a lie when she filed with the police department when I went missing? Or was it a lie that she went to REST and Mr. Brian Allen Davis contacted them trying to get the report? Was that a lie too? Or was it a lie when I was torn from my mom and chloroformed in front of her at Beaver Creek Road in Oregon City, Oregon? Was that a lie? Was it a lie that I went to Canada when I'm the one that has the bus ticket? Was it a lie that Mr. Brian Davis contacted a girl that I was interested in while I was missing? Her name is Emily Hancock, by the way. I believe Rome knows her pretty well by now. I would love to hear her version of this. I'm so fed up. I have a son who's starting to hate the Bible because of you guys. Like, come on. And then labor trafficking my son? How low can we get? Ryan wanted to write a book. Now he doesn't even want to see God. He doesn't want to write. He doesn't want to do anything right now. He's doing his school and that's it. He's depressed. Yeah, you did great. You write for children and you bring them down. That's what you did. You brought my son down. Why do you have so much hate for me, Laura Haven? Because I asked Scott Miner to look into a situation? And yes, I did call him a trafficker, but you need to know the why. And I am going to release it for the public. I have a recording of someone else in the law enforcement world, and they said that he was involved in it. They are a trusted source. And because I worked on Sound of Freedom, and you can like it or dislike it all you want, I got the original manuscript in front of me right now. And if you don't believe that, well, it's notarized by my mom, and it has the proof that it was sent to the studio. So, as far as me writing for Brian Davis, well, I have all the original documents right here to back up that I wrote for these people. I have continuous conversations that Brian made me the Christian author I am and writer I am since I was age 11. He sought me out. In his own words, not mine. But go ahead, believe him because he's the most successful person. But when did success have anything to do with doing what's right? When did that have anything to do with being a decent human being? Finally, realm makers, Von Ohm and Mary's children. It's public. Brian Davis did what he did. He doesn't want to talk about Megan Morris. He actually told her before she went missing she was going to the police. I didn't write that. She's a real person. Her mom contacted my mom before she ended up dead. My mom ended up dead. Do you know the last police report my mom made? I'm going to read it to you. Brian Davis is going to kill me. Yeah. Panama City, Florida. Yeah. About that. June 17, 2020 at 2:30 p.m. She knew she was going to die. Everybody says that I'm a liar. Everybody says this is crazy. Everybody says this isn't true. Then how the hell do you explain how I ended up in Canada? Hmm? Why was I taken from my mom? I'm mental for taking a stand against you? Lorehaven, episode 365. I challenge you. I challenge you to me and you one on one. You've interviewed Brian. You've interviewed everybody. I'm not asking because of fame. I don't want glory. I don't want fans. I want the truth. If I'm a liar, then put me away. If I'm telling the truth, someone needs to do their job. My mom did not die for nothing. My wife was not harassed for nothing. CPS did not show up on behalf of Brian Davis 2 years ago for nothing. My son wrote a book to be blacklisted today because publishing houses don't want to accept people going against realm makers in the Christian world. But he did have a publishing contract. Isn't that great? So you involved me, and now you involve my 10-year-old. It's great. Now, let's talk about misinformation. Mythical creatures around the world, I'm sure you're familiar with it, is my ministry. You can hate it all you want, but I honor my mom through it. I made a video that I'm in production in Oregon City, and that is true. I thanked Realm Makers for making it possible because I networked and did not badmouth authors that did bad things to me. I did tell Sophia Hansen, did not want to, but I did. I told two others. That was it. And then I told Scott. If a victim comes forward in Realm, they're crucified. And then you have all these people like Wayne Thomas Batson. I'm looking at you. Mr. Neese, great author, great guy. Love him. Met him long ago. I don't think he knows that. He'll figure it out. Scott Appleton. Wow. I'm delusional, huh? You know, I actually can't read on normal paper. Justin's actually seen that. Tell you why. So there are 42 car accidents, and I have every police report to document it in Oregon City, Laguna Beach, and Chester, Virginia. They were all hit and runs. My mom went through 21 cars. Huh. 21 cars. That's a number. And then Brian Davis, when it stopped, he harassed my best friend. Let me read something to you since you're letting Brian on, right? Yeah. So one of the people that Brian works with, Shiloh Artville, aka Shiloh Clover. who lives in Grants Pass. She uh, she wrote to my friend. We're not going to dox my friend because he actually is family. But she wrote, sorry, I'm taking a breath because it's so heavy. She wrote, do you know Jeremiah? I think you were his best friend. Please don't tell his mom I contacted you. I just needed an address for him or know where he's at. I'm kind of worried about him. I said some things and did some things that probably did not turn out as planned and probably wasn't a good idea. I know for a fact that Brian reached out to my pastor, had a conversation, had many conversations with a lot of people, including Amanda's family, my own wife. Do you think is acting normal? I have nothing to hide. The only reason I've been hiding is because of this man. Put yourself in my shoes, realm makers. If you were through 42 accidents, wouldn't you hide too? And yeah, my mom asks for prayer from many of you. Elizabeth Dresdo, I believe is how you pronounce your name. You were correct. We knew each other. You're a great person. Ryan Page Howard, great person. These are great people. You don't know me. You know a situation, you don't know the facts. Wayne Thomas Batson, I come back to you. Listen, I'm not here to defame you. In fact, I'm not here to say anything bad about you. I'm asking that you do the same. I'm not here to attack realm makers. And I'm going to say that maybe it was wrong of me to boycott realm makers, but try to see it from my point of view. If you're supporting children being married, if you are openly helping children get married, supporting this man who's children from their parents, and I'm quoting his book, Eye of the Falcon, Astro Alliance, what would you do to protect your child? What would you do? Did I leave a threatening voicemail in Scott's? Yeah. I had a phone call from the law enforcement person. And I learned what I did, that he was going to go after my son. And I was furious. Okay. I was furious. I was furious. You cannot sit here and do that. So I left a threatening voicemail telling him if he harmed my son, there would be consequences. That came from a law enforcement individual who goes undercover each day to nab people like Jeffrey Epstein in Operation Underground Railroad, who made Sound of Freedom, by the way. But I'm a liar. Forgive me for being unhinged. All I want is for someone to care about this. And you, Lord Haven, you are not going to be my next target. Because there's only been, honestly, two targets all along. And that was Von Oman and Brian Davis. That's who. Scott and Becky Miner came to my radar when the person in the Underground Railroad group asked me to monitor Scott Miner. So I listened. I saw the evidence. And I don't know what to say. Obviously, there has to be truth to something that they said, or that would have not happened. Railmakers isn't bad. It does help writers, like my son, who is 10 and wants to give his faith up. That's brilliant, Mr. Batson. Did you know that you were his favorite author? Yeah, go figure. The Door Within, favorite book. Funny, isn't it? But you're so bad, right? I badmouthed you. Morgan Buse, or Buzzy. I don't know how to say your name now because I've heard it pronounced many ways. Listen, you've accused me apparently of stalking you, and I ham it. Did I accuse you of plagiarism? Yes. Can I tell you why? My mom's notes. You could just file on me, Morgan, and we could have this out with my mom's notes. Because her notes say that you plagiarized. And there's a lot of manuscripts that say that could be accurate. So I don't know. As far as Brian plagiarizing all that, I'm over it. I'm looking at designs for Corn and Jason Masters of Starlighter in 2010. Right here. Dated. Right there. In my hand. Outlines my mom did for Starlighter. And I'm not here to get credit. I just want to clean up the mess. Why are you letting children? Hmm? Why are you letting children be victimized by Von Oman? Lorehaven, have Von Oman on your show. Von Oman isn't a part of Realm? I thought you'd say that. He actually is a big part of Realm. I have proof of that. Shame on you. Chris Hopper, who stayed out of it. I got nothing. You dissed me the day I called you. You remember that phone call? I remember it. Wasn't very nice. I actually almost killed myself after it. Got over it. I was a teenager when I called you. So before I was taken, you were a pastor up in New York. You don't remember it, do you? I understood what you were saying, but it was pretty unkind what you were saying too. Maybe we should talk about that one day. But I put that behind me. God has used all of you guys, despite all this evil, to be his voice. Laura Haven, right? You exist to help Christian creators. We should not be bringing politics in. This lawsuit shouldn't even be here. And by the way, I didn't even do this. Scott Miner sued me. And what? All because I said, look into this, and he blacklisted me and my son, right? Pay attention to that. He blacklisted me and my son. Come on. I didn't sue them. I don't have money. I did learn from the police department today that Brian Davis is seeking for me to go to prison. That was fun. And why? Cyber stalking, right? It was interesting to learn. How Christian is this? Defaming someone. Realmakers has on their site that my wife's a porn star and a prostitute in the videos from Angel Talks Too Fast. Guys, you just opened up yourself even worse. You involved my wife, who already was a Christian writer and now is rethinking her faith. You have no idea how hostile my house is right now because of you. I'm the only one keeping a calm face. You have no idea how angry she is. Watching our son walk away from his faith. Do you realize how hard that is? And you go, oh, you're pity party. No, no. Someone said in comments that it's labor trafficking for an 8-year-old to want to write. No, it's not. He wanted to write. He read Door Within and other books by Batson, and he wanted to write. And then they said, oh, well, he's homeschooled, of course, so no one can find him. Don't you guys go to homeschool conferences? So what? The moment I post my address, what happens? Someone shows up at my door. Yeah. I am not in the mood for a fight. I've been in tears all night. When I joined Railmakers, I didn't want to. I ran from my faith. I wrote a secular story that I don't think God would ever like. I was angry. And like it or not, God talked to me, said, I want you to join. I'm going to give you a year of healing. And after that year, there's going to be a fall. And after the fall, there's going to be the divide. And after the divide, then everything will be restored. My wife has a night of what God said. I knowingly joined Realm Makers, knowing that this is a community that hurt me and that Brian could be there. And I was very careful to listen to God and allow Him to heal my body. And He did. Yes, Realm Makers. Not because of Scott or Becky. I didn't even talk to them till a year later. They were good people, the body of Christ. And yeah, I networked. I talked to like what, 400 authors on there? Still talk to a lot of them. Because I was doing a crossover to give back to a community that hurt me was the hardest thing I could do. But I had a contract with a publisher, and I was willing to give those authors royalties to let their characters cross over and do an anthology of the Christian fantasy that has made a difference in my life. I wanted to make Christian fantasy an Avengers Endgame moment to restore it back to mainstream, because there's not an answer to the secular world. And I guess Scott can't fathom that. God used it. God used it for His glory. There is so much hate in this. Can't we just talk? You want to call me a liar? Call me a liar. I don't care anymore. I was sold as a sex slave, and that doesn't go away. I lost friends. I lost family. Today I said, what's the point of writing anymore? I did that. It was a hard moment. Mythical creatures around the world, ministry that God gave me. And I can't apologize for that or run from it. So I know it will be declined because I know people are saying, don't hear my side, just donate. I don't want money. I don't want fame. I just want someone to hear the real truth before lives are destroyed on either side. Because, like it or not, people, Scott Miner has a kid too, right? And Becky, everybody has a family. And this is just hurting everybody. This isn't just defamation. This is crossed into new territory. Calling my wife this on these videos, these horrid things. And yeah, the Vietnam thing. I mean, if someone actually came to me and wanted to know my dad served, I could show them. But people choose not to. And I have been brought back to life many times. I wonder why sometimes, like today. Let's pray. Father God, I want to pray for Lord Haven. I want to pray for endurance and strength. He had so much right. The Bible verses were spot on. I cried. Lord, no one's going to like what I'm going to say, but we're all a body of Christ. We're all your followers. And I beg you, I beg you to intervene in this and show someone the truth. I don't care about my friends on Realm anymore. I care about their lives. I've lost friendships and my son and my wife, dear friends. And I mourn for their loss, not mine. And one of the hardest things I'm going to do is pray for Brian Davis. God, would you just heal the hate? Would you just heal the hate of both sides? Because I won't lie. I hate him and he hates me. I pray for I pray for Morgan Buse as you give her discernment. I pray for Mr. Minor. I pray a shield of protection around the Minor family for the demonic infiltration that has hit Realm. Because you did not want Realm to be that. And I especially want to address why Becky made Realm. And there needs to be a spiritual shield. And I do agree on that. And maybe both sides have gone overboard. And maybe someone needs to take responsibility. But this is gone. beyond defamation, Lord. This has gone beyond abuse. This has gone beyond a court hearing. This is demonic hate and letting people away from God. The reason I write is to lead people to you, and I am hated for it. I've got death threats today alone. Please intervene. Please do something on behalf of both sides, because both sides are representing your kingdom and representing you. And this isn't about who's right or who is wrong. This is about you being represented by your people who are called to write stories to lead people to you and through you and reach people that would not be reached on a regular basis. Lord God, when I met Brian Davis when I was 11, when I met Wayne Thomas Batson when I was 11, it did touch my life. And there was a reason. There was a reason why you called me to write the way I do. I was going to take my life when I was 11, and that's no secret. And that was because of my dad. That night, when I met those authors, sob story or not, God, they saved my life, as ironic as it is. God, I pray for Justin's family and all the drama that has stirred from this. And I pray a shield of protection, spiritually, mentally, and physical, on them. I pray for the lawyers of Scott Minor, that you would keep them safe and secure from all harm, spiritually, demonically, mentally, or physically. And I speak nothing but truth to every member on Realm, even the person who said I should go die. And I ask for your pleading blood of forgiveness on the people who are trashing my family, that you would forgive them, for they know not what they do. And that you would forgive me for the hate that I have. It is harming my family and it is harming me. I pray that you would use discernment with everyone doing these horrid, horrid shares of this realmmakers.com and sharing my wife as a slut and a whore and on strip chat. That is enough to make someone want to take their own life. Lord, please intervene. I beg of you. And I wasn't supposed to pray on this podcast, and I'm sure I'll get jousted for it, but that's how I didn't die in the 42 car accidents that you say didn't happen, people. I prayed. And Lord, I pray for truth to come out, not just in the courts, because we're past that. I pray people would hear me, because I feel alone right now. And everyone I knew, I have no one to look up to now, but my mom and you. And that's enough. But my son, Lord, my son needs you. Amen. I want to end this podcast and let Justin take over in a minute. But I wanted to talk about a few other things. Why are we doing this to each other? It's beyond me. Mythical Creatures Around the World is a family owned ministry. And I will never say anything on there bad about anyone. Personal life, politics aside, that is to raise Jesus to the nations. And I ask that you don't attack my mom's legacy of what she left behind. Because she did go to other countries and she did minister to them. And she did write Christian books for people. I ask that you don't attack Justin either because he's innocent. If someone should be attacking someone, it should be me and not him. He's let me on his platform, and that's true. But someone should attack me, not him. And you haven't done that. You attacked him, who has nothing and is losing his life because of you. He told something that no one liked and no one wants to hear. And then you want to take everything away. What gives you the right to play God? You're not God. What you have done on realmmakers.com is a disgrace to the Christian community. It would be one thing if it said David defamed us and, he spread a bunch of lies. You didn't do that. And you could have kept up. Oh, Brian Davis did a video about David. Okay. But you kept up that my wife is a whore, a prostitute, and a slut. You put that out there for the whole freaking world. It leaks her freaking phone number in the video. I'm here to set the record straight. That's not my wife. It is an AI image. But you didn't think about that, did you? My wife has had so many strangers call her wanting. Who does that? Who does that to people? You call yourself Christian? Yeah, Lord Haven, take a listen to the 3-hour video calling my wife that. Oh, but you only pick up where she goes, oh, he's mental because he wrote for Sound of Freedom or Vietnam or his dad blew up his home. Well, my dad did blow up my home. And I did have to get hyperbaric treatment in Troutdale, Virginia. I was flown from my home in Klamath Falls to Troutdale, Virginia, and he blew up our home in Reno, Nevada. Oh, and my mom and I did die. There's a whole article on it in Focus on the Family, on ABC News, Klamath Falls, K Falls at the time, KMD TV Fox 26 Medford, Klamath Falls. Do your homework. Defaming someone just because you you don't like them is not okay. I I don't know what else to say. I have so much anger. Calling me a liar is one thing, guys, and not liking me, and that, I've gotten hate all my life. But bringing my wife into it and my son, shame on you. Someone said that they should send a hitman after me. Yeah, that happened. Do you know someone that was a hitman contacted me last night? Let that sink in. Want his name? Well, someone would actually care to ask it because it was reported to law enforcement. And the only reason that happened is because you guys blasted a video talking about my wife and our phone number and take our son, and because I spoke on another issue which I'm getting accused of someone I don't like, I say they're a trafficker. No. No, 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 no. Madeline Soto and Sebastian Rogers are missing children. My mom, after I was taken, went around the country helping families that were missing. How do you think Sound of Freedom was made? Now, there are NDAs where I can't talk about it, but Brian released that to the world when people gave out the names that I go by in the writing world. So that got me in a lot of legal trouble. That endangered me. And you may go, well, how is that? Because no one knew I wrote certain things that could be not very nice to the bad people I wrote them about. So you guys are going to have a lot to explain about why you leaked all of my names, including my birth name, which no one knows. And Brian Davis has some explaining to do because he got my social security number from the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, and I'm quoting him. They gave it to him. Now, I just got off the phone with TBI this morning. That's impossible to get someone's full social security number. Impossible from TBI. Why does he have all this filing on me if something didn't happen, right? Let me read to you my mom's notes, right? This letter is written to invoke the people that took my son and any custody that they claim. Is that funny? Right here. Right here. Here it goes. They were going to take my son to a foreign country and successfully did. They took him to the border of Canada, where he called a friend after he got away. This gets good, doesn't it? He showed up on my doorstep, not even wearing his own clothes, with cigarette burns and black and blue bruises and third-degree burns on his feet. Starved and malnourished and throwing up. I was horrified, and I was glad that God sent him back. We went to the police station, and they took the report. But when they took the report, something strange happened. A man named Stephen Long showed up, and another named John Detman. And the officer refused to take any more of the report after contacting Mr. Brian Davis and James Artville. So they forced me out of the police station, saying if I didn't leave, I would be arrested. The next day, Officer Stephen Long showed up at our home on Beaver Creek Road, opened the door, and threw me where I had to be hospitalized. Here's the medical report of that. If you ever speak of what happened, there will be more consequences, he said. So there were 42 of them. I didn't remember my own name for a few of them because I had a comatose state/coma. I went blind for 6 months in another. And that was when I met Ryan Page Howard. Great person, loves God. I don't have anything bad to say about her ever. I don't have anything to say about Christian teen writers go. No one has hurt me other than Brian Davis. And let that be known. Those authors were not there. Nobody probably knew. But Brian knew. My mom had a conversation with Brian that year in Puyallup, Washington, at a place called the Alpha Omega Coffee House. And they talked about what happened. And my mom recorded it without him knowing. He said he was sinless and couldn't get in the middle of it because he has no sin. Okay. So my mom went to the person that abducted me in the first place with Brian, James Artville, held a shotgun to his face, and said, if you ever touch my son, I'll kill you. And if you ever manipulate any of my son's friends, which he did, I'll kill you. And that is assault. They did tell the truth on that one. I wasn't there though. My mom did that on her own when I was in the hospital. So I gave up on my faith, and time repeats. It was people like Ryan Page Howard, Elizabeth Dresdo. It was people like Wayne Thomas Batson. It was people like Carrie Neitz. It was people like that who got me back. When my mom wanted to meet Brian, she wanted to meet him because the doctor said I wouldn't remember who I was unless I could remember my past. And the trauma was so traumatic, I had bleeding in my brain. They said I would never remember anything again. I had a nurse, it was a whole thing. So it was the hardest thing my mom did. And she wrote this with the police standing there to Brian. She wanted to meet him in a public place outside of Knoxville, not his house. But then she wanted to know answers as to why he was spreading to our church that I molested a kid. Who stalked who? February 19, 2015 at 2:19 a.m. Brian Davis to my mom. And my mom, this is Sarah2014 at gmail.com. Not me. That's my mom talking to him as a parent. My mom didn't want to have Brian involved in my life, but it was the only way I could remember my past. And trust me, when I remembered my past, I wanted to die. 200 strangers doing what they did to me. Yeah, you'd want to die too. So Scott didn't bring all the facts. And you, Lord Raven, have spread it like wildfire and not even give um, freedom for the other side to talk. You've actually shut us up. That's not okay either, is it? Anyway, that's what's going on. So I challenged Laura Haven, episode, I believe, 365, as you let Brian on, with conspiracies and what he's been up to. Maybe ask him a question. Why did he contact my girlfriend? Why did he contact my ex fiance before seeing? Why did he tell my pastor I did things to kids? Why did he spend time with my youth pastor before I went missing a year before, just about, wanting to know my whereabouts. And why did he seek out any new pastors that I know? Why did he contact friends and family of my wife? Would love to know the answer to that. You can't tell me that's to rebuke what I've said about him because I wasn't taken yet. So why did he have a 4-hour conversation with Pastor Tim Long at Stone Creek Church about me? That clearly 4 hours is a long time. My mom timed it because phone call in his office. Kind of weird. I'd love to know. I get there's going to be a lot of hate on me, but those questions could be addressed with Brian. And why come after my family now? What happened was 14 years ago. Why do this now? I'm trying to put out Christian fantasy at a high rate because 2 pages a day. That's right. You would know that though because you made me that right.
Y- You're breaking up real
How
bad this last
to
minute.
do it. I have the notes. You didn't think about that, did you? Sorry. Of how Mr. Brian did today. And I write Christian fantasy. I could write secular right now. I could be successful, but I can't. That's not what I'm called to do. And so you can hate me all you want, but are you going to hate on God with my ministry trying to to reach people that don't know him in other countries? Are you really going to do that? No, you're not. That wouldn't be Christian. You don't have to like me, but what I did was try to lead people to God. Now I'm done talking about Brian's unless I have to, and I am done with this bull crap that you guys have put out. I won't mention realm makers again. Trust me. My son wants to burn the app and God. If someone wants to interview me, fine. You want to crucify me on Lower Haven and go, well, we've given Brian a voice, fine. I don't care. I'm not going to fight. But I don't think it's fair that you got on your platform and you said what you said, and I don't get a take because I am a member of what you represent. Are you aware that I'm trying to produce Christian fantasy shows right now? Are you aware that I'm trying to mainstream Christian fantasy as we speak, despite all of this? And I don't want credit for it. I want to give it back to its creators. Are you aware of that? So, I don't know. Reach out. My email's simple. Brian knows it by heart. Oh, and I don't do email, so my wife does it because of my eyes, by the way. It's soldier, SOLDIER, BOYWRITER @gmail.com. And by the way, my name was changed when I went missing. So it's Solomon O. David Soldier SOS. And I was born Nathaniel Isaac Haune, Haune. Take notes. Jeremiah was a name that my mom gave because my dad would stalk us with no mercy after he blew up our home and went to prison for years. He got out. Unbelievable. Did you guys know that my mom worked in ministry too? At TBM with Paul and Jane Crouch back in the day. Damn. So what am I supposed to do now, right? Give up on ministry, and that was tempting today. I can't though, because God called me to do it. And I'm going to be hated and spit on, and that's fine. That's the price you pay. I work with famous people all the time. That's a price that you pay. I work with Justin Bieber, Taylor Swift, let's name them all. These are people that
You broke up right after you said
time
you work
or
with.
different a difficult circumstance. Famous, so One Republic, to name a few. And then my mom built the empire that is mythical today.
You just broke up those last two
And
minutes. Like I couldn't hear you.
now I'm going to be putting heavy content. Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Much better. Right after you listed Justin Bieber and
Yeah.
Taylor
I
is when you broke up.
sorry. I said I am going to continue to put content out and lead people to Christ, and I'm expecting hate, boycott my writing. I'm expecting it. I'm going to keep makers out of my mouth, and I ask that you do the same for my family's sake. This isn't about me as a writer. This is about my family now. You are affecting my son's health now and my wife. My mom left it as a legacy, and it will continue. Furthermore, any more harassment, I will file. There's no need for it. And I think that was well said. As far as the conversation that I talked to Scott Miner, I didn't even record it. And yet I'm getting charged for recording it when it wasn't actually me that called him. That's hilarious. So you victimize somebody else that you're not even naming or doing, which is fine because you want to keep them out. And I respect that. But it wasn't me. Someone else independently came to you. That's kind of weird. There are other victims on Realm. There are other people that have been hurt in the Christian community. And God forbid they come to you. All right. Lastly, I'm not going to name names because they know who they are. So I looked up to some women in Realm. Now they're in Realm. But at the time, they led teen writing. And they were my role models after what Brian did to me. And they helped shape the man that I've become. And I want to thank them. And they know who they are because they're in Realm right now. In fact, some of them talked about me. They weren't a parent, but they gave me hope when I was told there was none. So thank you. I hope that you lift up other people that are hurting. That's what God gave you the gift to do. I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't want to defame anyone. And this will be my last podcast about Realm, unless the police show up at my house. Then I guess I'll do one in jail because apparently we tried to do that today. I believe it's called swatting. That was a trip. Okay. Oh, one last thing. My messed up teeth. I guess we'll get into that for a minute. Brian Davis put that out there. Um, I didn't have messed up teeth until after he trafficked me. And they're getting repaired. But through all the car accidents, my teeth got even more messed up. And if he didn't take me, I would love to know how he knows all my food allergies. My doctor would like to know that too. He lists all my allergies on his video that you guys linked on filmmakers.com. So I've dropped a lot of names today. We'll go over them. Tim Long, Stone Creek Christian Church. Matt Greenwood, Stone Creek Christian Church. Steve Long, Stone Creek Christian Church. All people were involved in that. John Detman, Stone Creek Christian Church. Right? These are people that were contacted and threatened because he was a friend of mine. Independent of me, saying that I had a relationship with a minor child and I was, let's see what the email says here, 23 at the time. And before you go, oh, Brian didn't write that. Well, no, it is BRYAN at dragonsinourmidst.com. So, I mean, looks like you wrote it. And that needs addressed. So, lots of things to talk about, think about. Lower Haven episode 365. I look forward to episode 366. I'm sure I'll be the topic. I do not want to target you, nor will I. And if you refuse to have me on your show, fine. Why don't you come on our show and ask questions? And I don't want to defame you. I want to give Christian Fantasy its platform, but nobody will give me the time of day to even talk. Everybody transcripts of that conversation, and then they look at Angel talks too fast. They don't look at the facts. Angel talks too fast got in a lot of trouble. She caused a lot of drama on TikTok about those videos. She ain't the only one that hated on me, though. So, Carrie Niece, I love you. was great meeting you years ago. Religious bull is what you said, I believe. No, it's called being the body of Christ. You publish with Enclave Publishing, try it sometime. Stop being a bully. Start being a man of God. Own up to your publishing house, all of you. Stop bullying people. You have a problem, fine. Okay, you sued us for defamation. You have a problem? Why can't we talk this out? It's very simple how this ends. You devastate Justin and you destroy him. And you destroy me, which I really don't give two craps about now. But you destroy my family. Brilliant. Or we could actually talk. We could actually sit down and talk. And someone could actually look at what I'm holding in my hand and ask the question, why didn't the police do their job? This email tells it all. It's an email from the Oregon City Police Department right here. It tells why they didn't do their job. It actually threatens my wife. Threatens her. Steve Long was tied to the church. They didn't want to go against the church, small town. Now, all the Christian writers are involved in this darn lawsuit. When you guys don't even know what this lawsuit is, this isn't to defame Realm and say that you guys are bad. This is to get the attention and do something so you can do good. And Brian Davis, yeah, he's been writing his books. I've seen them. There's some interesting stuff in there. I'd love to know why he has a shot collar around a girl for a very young age. I encourage you to reach out to Justin or me, and I would love to be on an interview with you. And if you want to yell at me and say no, and this guy had the balls to want me on, that's fine. Do it. But I think there should be a fair trade that someone, and this is funny, I offered for Brian Davis to come on our show. I know, right? I offered it though. I offered for him to say his piece on it, and he didn't. I wasn't there to attack. So that's where it stands, I guess. We'll see where it goes. Lord Haven, it's in your hands, and any other author. I got to clean up a mess of a son who wants to give up his faith and burn every Christian fantasy book and Bible that he's ever had. Thank you. Justin, you can take it from here.
Yeah, thanks for sharing such raw information as it's transpired and transpiring. Can't be easy to do that. And just appreciate uh yeah, and anybody kind of wondering, I've been fighting a a 6 pound dog here as we've been going. So you might have seen me jump off and on visually, but she likes, I guess, when the camera's on. But uh, yeah, so a lot of hard topics, a lot of hard things. So we covered a lot of shows don't give that option, and we do. And so that's kind of where that is. And just for all this information is given in good faith. We're not asking to harm anybody. We're not asking for anybody to do anything, again, harmful physically, mentally, spiritually at all. So that needs to be put out there because it appears that some people have that in their mind that we do that and we say that, and that's that's a bold-faced lie. We may disagree on things, and that's just humans. And there are things that people have done that are very, very bad. And we're going to share that, just like we shared on our last episode with the state of New Mexico tightening up regulations with Meta as relates to 13-year-olds and under and maybe above, uh, calling out Meta for not um, uh, I guess not having children's mental health in their mind when they're creating their algorithms. And so we share these as uh, information. We share these as public safety, public service announcements, because nobody's for sale, no children, no child, no adult, nobody's for sale. And when we have big tech and the like, that uh, it has been apparently proven, at least to some extent, because the amount that Meta has to pay is close to $1 billion. So nobody pays $1 billion just for the sake of paying $1 billion. Yes, Meta has the $1 billion to pay, but it shouldn't just be New Mexico. It needs to be all the states across the board. We live in the United States of America, so each state should have that. But that's how that really connects to this episode that you just watched, that you just listened to. Uh, and I can assure you that it's not easy to talk about, to share the information that David shared, and to talk about, um, hearing, such hate and division when he's trying to help so many people. And so again, we don't talk about harming others. We don't wish harm, again, physically, mentally, spiritually. There have been people, again, to David's point, I guess today that there were additional, but there have been people in the past that have said the harmful, bodily harm comments towards us, myself, the organization, David, his family. You get the idea. And so anything, again, from this point out is reported. There's a lot of things that we've already reported. We talk about swatting. We talk about other things. The that people are talking and they're kind of egging, instigating their fan base and those individuals. That's not what we're doing. We just want to help people. And that's really the long and the short of it for us. So anybody from here on out is and will be reported. And so we're just letting everybody know that. There's a lot that already have been reported, so I we don't know where that goes. I don't know. But we have the proof when we show it. We don't. We don't just make things up, and we don't just call people up and say, "Oh, don't talk to this person," or "Oh, don't have this person, take their contract from them," or "Oh, do this and call them these names." That's not what we do, unless we have proof that is in our best judgment that we have, uh, and that's when we share that information. We have a bunch of episodes that touch on all these topics and more. We invite each and every one of you to check out those other episodes, but especially tell your friends, tell your family, tell your fellow congregants and your pastors and everybody about this episode. This is going to be episode number 559 of the Voices for Voices podcast and TV show. And so until next time, let's celebrate the voices of everybody in the world, not tear them down, and let's be a voice not just for ourselves, but for those individuals that are hurting and for those individuals who are no longer with us. They still have a voice, and you can help us by doing that. Have a best a day that you can, and we're sending nothing but love and support to each and every one of you. And where we prayed for everybody, and I think that's important. So praying is a good thing. Wanting good things is a good thing. Wanting positive vibes is a good thing. And so thank you, David, for all that you shared, including praying, because that is very hard to do, is to pray for people who have hurt us at some point in the past. So we'll see you next time, and we look forward to seeing you potentially in person sometime down the road. We'll see you next time. Bye bye for now. Thanks, David.